Hello students, once again a very warm welcome to Meso Study Session. So as you can see that in today's class I'll be talking about CBSE pattern question exercise from the chapter Natural Resources. Chapter is completed from my side, hope it is completed from your side as well. Now we will be discussing some important questions from this chapter. So let's start the today's session. So in total in today's session I'll be discussing 10 questions. So some questions will be of 1 mark, some question will be of 2 marks, 3 marks and the 5 marks. I'll tell you how to attempt such type of questions, and also I'll tell you what you have to write and what you don't have to write. The silly mistake the students they always do in the examination, that I'll tell you to don't do that. So when you are attempting any of the question paper, the one thing, especially biology, one thing that should be clear in your mind is that you should not use a colored pen, right? If you have pencil, use that. If you have a pen or a black pen, you can use that. But instead of using the different colors, you should avoid it basically. Another thing is that try to write the things in a point-wise manner. Do not write stories. And again repeat these things, because when we are examiners, when I was examiner, and when students write stories, at that time it is very much annoying that we have to read the whole stories. Instead, what you have to do is underline the important points, right? Because we have so many copies for us to check. So what you have to do, write in a point-wise manner. Wheresoever important things are given, underline it with a black pen, underline with a pencil, right? And the diagram should always with the pencil, right? Do not use pen while drawing any diagram. So this is the first question. Come back to the session. Name the 3 processes in which oxygen is used. We know that oxygen is important for every processes, right? Now they are asking the 3 processes. In this, the answer you have is they are important for the combustion process, right? Is it clear? Other than that, it is also important for the oxidation process, right? Other than that, it is also important for the production of oxides of nitrogen. For formation of oxides of nitrogen. Other than that, you can write that this oxygen is also important for the process of respiration. So which respiration I mean to say over here? I am talking about aerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration, they always require oxygen, in which combustion of these substances occur in the presence of oxygen, where the complete breakdown occur, due to which the energy is released along with the release of carbon dioxide. So this was a question number 1. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 2. So this question number 2 indicates name 2 natural resources available on earth. There are so many natural resources available. In this, you can write an example like soil. You can write an example like water. Similarly, you can write an example like air. All of these are natural resources which are present on earth, right? And they are important for maintaining the biodiversity which is present on earth, right? So this was question number 2. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 3. So this question is again of 1 marks. So you have to answer accordingly. Now, name 2 biologically important compounds that contain both oxygen and nitrogen. So we know that oxygen is also important and nitrogen is also important. In fact, when we talk about the biochemical or substances or the organic substances, right, such as proteins, such as carbohydrates, lipids, lipid, nucleic acid, all of these, they require different substances such as carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen and oxygen. But they are asking those 2 in which oxygen is also present and in which the nitrogen is also present, right? For this, the correct answer you have is proteins and nucleic acid. Proteins and nucleic acid. So these are those substances for which is important for the process, right? So which is like this oxygen and nitrogen is important for the formation of the proteins and the nucleic acid. When you will see the internal structure, they have a carbon backbone present, which is having a chain of oxygen and nitrogen. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 4. So question number 4 is from another category, that is for 2 marks question. These are the 2 marks question, the short answer type, so you have to answer accordingly. Now, name 4 human activity which can cause air pollution. If I ask you one question, we have already discussed same in session, that what do you mean by air pollution? How can you define air pollution? Air pollution is decrease in the quality of air, right? Due to the presence of pollutants. These pollutants, they can be gaseous pollutant. These pollutants, they can be particulate matter. So when these pollutants, they are inhaled by human being, we are exposed to so many diseases like asthma, like bronchitis, like irritation of eyes. Sometimes in fact our immune system is also affected. The kidney, liver, spleen, each and every organ is affected, especially your lungs. Because when we inspire, just do one thing, take a deep breath. And what will happen? Lots and lots of oxygen, they enter into your body. So first organ which is affected, that is your lung. It's quite definite that our lung will be exposed to these chemicals and we will be suffering from the disease which is associated with it. Like we will be having a problem in breathing such as asthma and bronchitis. So they are asking 4 human activities which can cause air pollution. To discuss frankly, whatever we do, we are causing harm to our environment. A relationship which has to be maintained between the environment and in ourselves, that is not there. That is why in today's environment, particulate matter is very high, or it is at a critical point. Currently, like to talk frankly, currently I am facing problem in breathing, a throat infection I am facing. The reason is that this particulate matter. Because what we are doing is we are spoiling our environment, whether it is related to burning of fossil fuel or it is related to thermal pollution, or everything is affecting the air. So we have to discuss, thermal pollution. In this, the thermal pollution, the water is affected. So 4 activities. First is a burning of fossil fuel, right? Second is cutting of trees, right? Third human activity is construction of buildings. And how can we forget mining activities, right? Because of the burning of fossil fuels like coal and the petroleum, carbon dioxide and the various other greenhouse gases, they are released into the environment, due to which what we are facing is a global warming. Second, because of the cutting of trees, what is happening is, in an environment, the carbon dioxide concentration is getting higher and higher, which is a greenhouse gas. So because of cutting of trees, what is happening? The carbon dioxide which has to be fixed by the process of photosynthesis, that is not getting fixed. Carbon dioxide concentration will be higher, oxygen concentration will be less, because when we talk about photosynthesis, carbon dioxide they consume and oxygen they releases. So when plants are affected, that means the whole food chain are affected. Likewise, there are so many consequences of these air pollution, right, that we know. And we know that so many activities are there due to which the air pollution is occurring. But we have to mention only 4. So for each of the point, you will be given half mark, right? A precise answer you have to give whatsoever is asked, you have to answer that. No need to write here and there stories, right? So what you have to do, you have to be focused, you have to write what is asked in question, right? Let's move on to the next question, question number 5. Sorry. So, hope you are noticing that I am suffering from a throat infection because of this air pollution only. What are the two forms of oxygen found in atmosphere, right? They are asking forms of oxygen. There are two forms in which oxygen is present. The first one is termed as a diatomic form. Diatomic form. Diatomic form, that means oxygen, O2, right? Second is a triatomic form. That means to say the O3. O3 you all know, that is ozone. Now this diatomic form, the oxygen exists in diatomic form in a troposphere. In troposphere, right? Another thing is, this oxygen is important for the process of oxidation, it is important for the process of combustion. Important for oxidation, combustion, etc. Right? Triatomic molecule, triatomic form, that is present in stratosphere. Hope you have seen the sessions, in that we have discussed the different layer of atmosphere, out of which the first layer, which is present in the range of 8 to 16 or 8 to 20 kilometer, that is a troposphere. Second we have is a stratosphere, in which a layer which is termed as a ozone layer is present. So it is present in stratosphere as layer form. And what is the function of this layer? They help in, or they do not allow the penetration of harmful UV rays. Do not allow penetration of harmful ultraviolet radiations coming from sun. Now listen very carefully. The ultraviolet radiations which are coming from sun, they can cause skin cancer, they can cause cataract as well, they decreases our immune system, not only animals, it affects the plant productivity as well. Destruction in the chlorophyll, etc. and etc. are the consequences of these harmful UV rays. So these are the two forms in which oxygen exists in atmosphere. In this, if you have seen the sessions, then one question will be there in your mind, that in session I have already discussed that this ozone is not only present in stratosphere, it is also present in the troposphere, but because we are discussing some good things over here, so I thought to explain in the stratosphere only. Because when ozone is present in the case of the troposphere, it acts as a greenhouse gas, which I don't need to discuss over here, because we are discussing a good thing about oxygen, that it is important for the respiration, for the combustion, etc. and etc. Similarly, we are discussing a good thing for the ozone as well. Now, let's move on to the next question, question number 6. So question number 6 is again of 2 marks. Now, why do organisms need water? Now, organisms need water for following reasons. What are these reasons? The first very important reason is, water is that thing which always acts as a solute, which we have discussed in session. So they help in transportation of nutrient. transportation of nutrient. Either we talk about plant or we talk about animal, they help in transportation of nutrient because they act as a good solvent. Right? Second point in this case is that 70% of body cell is water only. Right? Another thing is that our body weight is because of water only. Majority of part we have water only. So another thing, for every metabolic reaction water is important, right? Or you can write, let's take an example of a digestion also, digestion, or our blood also, that has a majority of part. In the case of the blood we have is a water. So major part of blood is water only, right? So in fact, when we talk about the one of the process, that is a digestion, even in digestion the absorption of nutrient occur because of water only, right? So because it is of just of a 2 marks, so you don't have to write in a wrong answer type question, more precisely you have to write, and in fact try to answer this question in a point wise manner. Let's move on to the next question, question number 7. So question number 7 is of 3 marks. Now the question indicates what happens when water gets polluted. Now water pollution, in which circumstances water get polluted? Because it has pollutant, and sometime even when heated water is released into our water bodies like liver, like ponds, this affect the aquatic organism survival as well. Now in question they are asking what happens when water get polluted. Let's talk about some of examples. Water polluted with biological agents. Which type of agent I am talking about here? The bacteria, fungi, virus, right? If taken by humans, can become susceptible to various diseases like cholera, like diphtheria, etc. Right? So this is first consequence. Let's take another example. You all know about the process of eutrophication. So this is also one of the effect, that is eutrophication. Eutrophication, whenever water get polluted with organic substances, that means when a sewage sludge is allowed to enter into a nearby water body, in that circumstances what happens is there is an excess growth of algae such as phytoplanktons. When there is an excess growth of algae, that means all the surface area of water will be covered with these algae only. They will not allow the penetration of the rays like sun rays, due to which the organism which is present below, they will die. And in fact they will utilize all these organic substances, and they will, because for the decomposition process they require oxygen as well. So they will use all the dissolved oxygen which is present, due to which the biological oxygen demand increases, the dissolved oxygen decreases, yes, BOD increases and DO decreases. So, when BOD increases and DO increases, that means the death of organism will occur. This we have discussed in session, students. So, this causes algal bloom, right? And what is the consequence? Consequence is that it can cause death of other organism. Other, I mean to say aquatic, right? And how do they do that? They do that because BOD, which is a biological oxygen demand, biological oxygen demand increases and dissolved oxygen decreases, right? This is another effect. Let's talk about the next effect, which is a biomagnification. See, I am just giving points. Rest we have already discussed in session, and if you want to study in detail, you can refer to our notes, e-books as well. In that, everything is given in detail because this question is of a 3 marks. So, you have to explain the things in detail. Now, we don't have this much time that I start explaining you each and everything what you have to write. I am just giving you points, right? So, biomagnification you have to explain. What is a biomagnification? That means increase in concentration of pollutant or in organisms with increasing what? Trophic level. With increasing trophic level, their concentration increases. This is called as a biomagnification. So, this biomagnification occurs basically for non-biodegradable pollutants. For example, your pesticides. In the pesticides, you can take an example of DDT, the BHC, the dieldrin. Other than that, let's take an example of heavy metals. So, when this consumption of the heavy metals is there, suppose in water because of the industrial effluents are there, they are released into the water bodies. In that condition, what will happen is, these heavy metals concentration in water will increase. They will get accumulated into the phytoplankton, which will get accumulated into the small zooplankton, which will get accumulated into the small fishes and the large fishes. So, with due time, the concentration increasing and start increasing and increasing. This is termed as a biomagnification. So, for example, let's take an example of mercury. If mercury get accumulated into our body, this causes Minamata disease. And similarly, when cadmium get accumulated, it can cause Itai disease, right? So, these are the example hope you can give. Now, fourth is it causes decomposition of organic matter. See, whenever these substances they are released into water, decomposition will occur. So, once the decomposition will start, that means they will utilize all the oxygen which is present. And just imagine a situation if DO is not there, that means they will start breaking all these substances in the absence of oxygen. That means anaerobic respiration will occur. Once the anaerobic respiration will start, instead of consumption of these organic substances, other pollutants they will also accumulate. For example, your sewage is converted into the sludge, which is highly turbid and odors, like it is full of bad odor, you can say, right? It is odorful. So, basically in this case, other pollutants which are produced are hydrogen sulfide, are ammonia and the methyl sulfide, etc., right? So, this is another example you can write, and we have already studied in session regarding the different consequences. Around 7 consequences we have already studied in session, and because it is just of a 3 marks, you can answer like 4 to 5 points, that is enough, right? So, see, these points they are important. If you'll write all these points like this, like they help in, like if you'll underline this biological agents, if you'll underline this eutrophication, biomagnification, the examiner will clearly understand that students knows all these topic and you will get a good marks, that I assure you. So let's move on to the next question, that is a question number 8. So question number 8 is a quite big question but very easy as well. Hope students you all are finding this chapter interesting because it's quite relatable, you can relate yourself. We know that many human activity lead to increasing level of pollution of air, water bodies and the soil. Do you think that isolating these activity to a specific or limited areas would help in reducing the population? Yes. In this, what we can do, that we have to explain over here, right? So we know that the pollution is increasing and the major pollution is because of, let's take an example of a sewage. Sewage. So the sewage, they should be treated first before released into water bodies. Should be treated in sewage treatment plants before releasing in water bodies. Right? Now, other thing is that another pollution occurs because of the burning of fossil fuels. Burning of fossil fuel, they releases energies, they releases gases into the atmosphere, right? So we should avoid the burning of the fossil fuel. So try to use cycles, or you can say the bicycles, for short distance. Right? So another thing is because of the soil pollution, right? What we have to do? We have to plant trees, right? Plant trees not only cure your air pollution with the help of exchange of gases, it also cure your air pollution, the water pollution as well as the soil pollution. See, plants, let's take an example of jamun plant. So jamun plant has a very good capability that they can absorb heavy metals as well. Even these plants, they help in the process of a cloud formation, due to which the precipitation can occur, due to which whatever the like water bodies are there, whatever the ground level are there, that will be maintained. So we should plant trees. Now we have discussed regarding the sewage. So industrial effluent, industrial waste should be treated, right, before releasing into the water body. We should avoid use of pesticides, insecticides, etc. So these are the different things which we have to follow, right? So this was a question number 8. Let's move on to the next question, question number 9. So this question number 9 in the 10 is of 5 marks. So you have to answer again in detail, a long answer type question we are discussing now. How does nitrogen fixation take place during the lightning? How do the plants make use of the nitrate and nitrate present in the soil? That means we have to talk about nitrogen cycle. Now, focus over here. This is atmospheric nitrogen. Atmospheric nitrogen. So atmospheric nitrogen is always present in N2 form, right? Now, this nitrogen is taken up by the plants. Plants, I mean to say the green plants, right? Because in this case, what happens is a biological nitrogen fixation. Biological nitrogen fixation. In case of a dicot plants, like you can take an example of legumes, etc., their roots, they are associated with symbiotic bacteria which help in fixation of this atmospheric nitrogen, because this atmospheric nitrogen cannot be taken up by plant directly. First of all, it has to be converted into nitrates and nitrites, then only it will be absorbed by plant. So in case of plant, there is a formation of various organic substances, and these organic substances, you know that protein also has these nitrogen present. Protein, like how proteins are made up of, what is the building block of protein? Correct answer is amino acids. A chain of different chains of amino acid, they join together and they form proteins. So in this case, there is a formation of organic compound. So once these nitrate, nitrite, they are absorbed because of the biological nitrogen fixation which convert this atmospheric nitrogen into nitrate and the nitrite, they will be taken up by the next group of organism which we know, that is animals. So in animals also they help in a building, that is a formation of organic compound. Right. So these animals, they releases ammonia. Similarly, by the process of ammonification, there is a formation of ammonia. This is not only a single process by which atmospheric nitrogen is fixed, rather than in this case, there is another process which is termed as the industrial or atmospheric nitrogen fixation. And you can write industrial. How how in case of industries the nitrogen fixation occur? This is because of the Haber's process. So industrial nitrogen fixation. So once this industrial nitrogen fixation is done, that means now what will happen? Nitrification. Nitrification. So the nitrification, they help in the formation of nitrates. Now these nitrate has different fates. They can again go back to the atmospheric nitrogen. They can convert itself into atmospheric nitrogen, or they can be again taken up by the plants as well. Now what about ammonia? Ammonia is tucked over here. Similarly, this ammonia can also be converted into nitrite. So this nitrite can further be converted into nitrate, and this cycle, that is a nitrogen cycle, goes on. Right? This is what you have to explain, a very easy and the direct question. Though, come back to the question again. Though in question they have given you the things in a rounded manner, like obviously student will get confused, but no need to get confused in this. Nitrogen cycle they are asking. See, when they are asking that how nitrogen fixation occur because of the because of lightning process, come back to this. Here I have mentioned the atmospheric nitrogen fixation. In this, the nitrogen which is present in the atmosphere, that is first of all converted into oxides of nitrogen. Later on they are converted into nitrates and nitrites, which is absorbed by the plant. So as the lightning occur, as these lightning and the thundering process occur, oxides of nitrogen are formed and which is later on absorbed. Right? So this was the first thing which question is asking. Second, how do the plants make use of the nitrate and nitrites present in the soil? They can easily absorb it. Rather than using the atmospheric nitrogen, they can easily absorb it. How? Because they are associated with some symbiotic bacteria into, with the help of symbiotic bacteria, they fix the atmospheric nitrogen and they convert this atmospheric nitrogen into nitrate and nitrite, and like this the biological nitrogen fixation occur. Right? This was the question number 9. Let's move on to the next question number 10. Write a note on how forest influence the quality of our air, soil and water resources. Very easy, again direct question. So air, right? So air, we know that when we plant trees, so what is the function of plants? Plants releases carbon dioxide, releases oxygen and absorb carbon dioxide. That means what is the function? Function is that it is reducing greenhouse effect, or you can say global warming, GW I'm writing, right? This is the first thing. Plant releases oxygen and absorb carbon dioxide. Second thing is that these plants absorb heavy metals from soil, right? How do they absorb the heavy metal from the soil? For example, I have given you the example like jamun tree. This has a very good capacity that it absorb all these heavy metals, especially the cadmium, etc., so lead, etc., from the soil, so that it makes the soil, nearby soil, these heavy metal free. So this releases oxygen, the carbon dioxide. Other than that, plants help in cloud formation. How do they help in a cloud formation? Because whenever they transpire, or when the transpiration happens, this droplet of water is released into the atmosphere, which condense itself and they form clouds. So this is in case of the air. Similarly, in case of the soil, hope you can explain that. First point is it hold the soil particle and prevent soil erosion. What is a soil erosion? When uppermost layer of soil that is disposed of along with the wind, along with the water, when we plant more and more trees, they keep hold of this soil so that it cannot go away. So this is a soil. Similarly, the next point you can write over here, the same point, that it absorb heavy metals. Right? Now, because the plants, suppose in an area plant is present, that means the organic substances or the litter will be present on the uppermost area, that is the A0. So in that area there will be growth of microorganism. So because of these plants only the microorganisms are present, because the food is present. So it allows the cycling of nutrients as well. So the next point you can write, they help in cycling of nutrient. Right? Let's talk about water resources. Water. The basic point you can write that it helps in a cloud formation. How? Because of the transpiration process. Just imagine the transpiration is occurring, that means there will be a formation of the cloud, the precipitation will occur, and like this they help in preventing the water pollution as well. Now another thing is that it do not allow silting of water bodies. See, when soil erosion occurs, all these soil particles, they get deposited into nearby water bodies. When they get deposited, that means the silting of water bodies are occurring. This is the reason, right? They keep hold on the uppermost soil so that it doesn't allow the movement of these particles, and the fertility, it maintains the fertility of the soil as well. This also you can write in the point of soil, how this forest help in maintenance of soil. So these are the things which you have to explain. For a more detailed point, you can refer to our sessions in which we have discussed all these things in detail. So now what you have to do? You have to practice more and more questions, the questions which is given in NCERT, in between the chapter as well as at the end of the chapters. You have to revise those, and in case if you face any problem, you can ask us. So take care of yourself, revise the things again and again very carefully, take care of yourself, don't fall ill, because we know that why do we fall ill. So thank you so much students for watching this. We'll meet you in next session.